All right, Dominica, good afternoon to you and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Talk on the Block. If it's on the block, we'll talk about it. It's 1:07 in the afternoon. I did tell you this afternoon we'll present the president of the United Workers' Party. I'm sure he'll deal with a lot of your questions at this time. You know he's quite capable. So don't allow me or don't expect me to answer your questions. Ask him the questions you want to ask him. And I'm sure we'll talk before that. So let's do this and come back. Come back, Dominica. Just stick around. Stick around. Taking a break, we'll come back.
ESA Trading Limited is celebrating mothers in grand style with a super grand Mother's Day raffle. Yes, do not miss our Mother's Day promotion at ESA Trading Limited. Spend $50 or more and write your mother's name, address, and their telephone number on the back of your receipt and place it in the box provided to take part in our grand Mother's Day raffle. Help your mom win one of these fabulous prizes. First prize, a 90 kg washing machine. Second prize, a 4-burner gas stove. Third prize, an industrial blender. And fourth prize, a 4.5-liter electric air fryer. Promotion runs from today, 17th April to May 11th, 2025. ESA Trading Limited. We're making a difference for you.
Rice and Company Limited. We manufacture high-quality roofing sheets, 24 gauge in different colors, also to customer specifications. That's right, whatever length you want. Aluminum seamless guttering. We also sell BRC mesh, steel rods in all sizes, breach caps, fencing wire and fencing poles. Free estimates for guttering, galvanized sheets, and fencing wire. Quality products at the lowest prices island-wide. Rice and Company Limited, located at Canesville Industrial Site, Shed 1A, just before the Old Mill Cultural Center. Call us today at 617-2468 or 615-0178. Rice and Company Limited, built for living, built for life.
Don't you worry. We'll begin there in a minute. Actually have to play a statement he just sent to me just a few minutes ago. We'll start off with that, and by the time we do that, I suspect he'll be around. So stick around, Dominica. Stick around. Stick around. Stick around.
You took a mortgage and it wasn't NCCU's 5% mortgage mega deal, or mortgage plans to consolidate all your debts into one mortgage rate? Okay, we listen and we don't judge.
So you have a mortgage and need some upgrades in your life. You haven't applied for our NCCUs beyond the mortgage, 6 loans at 6%, like education, medical, and vacation. We listen and we don't judge.
Your community financial partner wants you to be sound in your pocket and in your mind. Don't make financial decisions that are going to leave you stressed. We told you, NCCU is the plug for all your money moves. We have loans for all purposes. All you have to do is contact us. Pick any of our 11 locations and then just advance.
Dominicans, insure your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, insure your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
All right, Dominica. Let's listen to the preamble of Mr. Lennox's appearance here today. Let's do this and listen well.
So, Zed Lloyd shared a message today, 2nd of May 2025, asking me to address the nation on what's going on with the United Workers' Party.
And I want to use the opportunity to apologize. I want to tell Lennox it's a lot of frustration that is coming out. It's not personal hate. It's just frustration. And frustration because perceptions allowed to linger, create, wrongful ideas in people's minds. And so I want to not just apologize, but I want to call upon the president of the United Workers' Party and tell him that it's time for him to speak to the public. It is time for you to address the public. It is time. It is time. The leadership of the party also needs to consider, preparing a statement to talk to the people. So, Brother Lennox, I apologize. But I apologize letting you know, bro, that it's time that you come out and speak to the public, bro. It is time for us to address this and put this thing to rest and move forward. All right, brother, this is my plea to you. It's time for you to speak to the public, bro.
I was supposed to have been here yesterday, May 1st, 2025. Didn't make it. I was in Marigot. But I'm here today. Not on the suggestion or advice of Zed Lloyd, but on my own initiative to clear the air on a few things. The town hall meeting in Marigot on April 23rd, 2025 to discuss the new election laws was hosted by the Marigot Constituency Association of the United Workers' Party. It was an initiative of Senator Delbert Paris. It was well attended and featured lively, informed, civil discussions of the new legislation and related matters. Contrary to the impression given by anti-UWP social media influencers, there were no demands at the meeting for the resignation of Senator Paris from the post of deputy political leader of the UWP. On April 29th, 2025, Zed Lloyd launched another of his vicious attacks on me based on lies, misrepresentation, and unbridled hate. On April 30th, by private WhatsApp message, I asked him to withdraw the statements by midday or else I would respond with the truth, the whole truth, the entire body of facts and evidence, and nothing but. He responded, asking whether I am not aware of how followers of the party were impacted by my speech following the 19th of March. I spoke on March 21st in defense of Senator Delbert Paris after he was brutally savaged by a former UWP president and condemned to go pack himself somewhere.
Everybody knew me as a Baptist. I was president of the United Workers' Party for 3 consecutive years, up to 2022 or 23 thereabouts. I, as a Baptist, is stating right now, Delbert Paris, deputy leader of the United Workers' Party. The United Workers' Party should call a meeting of the General Council as provided for under the Constitution and have Delbert Paris removed immediately as deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party. Delbert Paris, for him, after persons went out there for days, mobilizing people to come down to Roseau against what was being to be passed in Parliament as meaningful electoral reform. Tell Delbert stop insulting the intelligence of the people of Dominica, particularly people like me. We all know there are provisions in that bill that are improvement as to what exists now. But the key issues that have to be addressed as to complete registration to avoid and to remove all the names that should not be there, and confirmation will allow them to remain there. And most importantly, finance reform for accountability and the abuse of financial resources of the country by the ruling government. These are the main issues that have not been addressed in the bill. People are out there taking tear gas in their backside, taking rubber bullets, and you're going to the house with your fancy language talking that bullshit about this and that and that and that. I am going to ask the Cassius constituency, and I think the Constitution provides for 3 constituencies to summon a meeting of the General Council to have Delbert Paris removed immediately. He's insulting the party. He's embarrassing the party. You don't do that. And if they have the agenda, then pursue their agenda differently. You don't insult a nation and insult people like that way, and you're nonsense crap about this and that. And you're sitting your bullshit in the Parliament and talking that crap. Man, go pack yourself somewhere.
In defense of Senator Paris, I stated he did not betray the party. He did not vote against what the people were protesting for. He only voted for the Registration of Electors Bill. He did not vote for the House of Assembly Elections Bill. I revealed that by letter dated January 13, 2025, political leader Dr. Thompson Fontaine wrote to the Prime Minister expressing concerns that the bills introduced to Parliament in December 2024 did not go far enough to ensure free and fair elections. In terms of the Registration of Electors Bill, the letter outlined issues with provisions for a clean, accurate voters list and ID cards for voting. Voter identification cards. The bill Senator Paris voted for includes provisions for cleaning the voters list through confirmation of registration as opposed to complete re-registration, which is what we advocated for. Cleaning the voters list is about removing the names of persons who no longer qualify to be on the list. In this regard, the new act seems to be premised on the position of the ruling Dominica Labour Party that while there is a constitutional requirement of residency in Dominica to be registered to vote, there is no constitutional requirement of residency in Dominica to vote. Now, the previous act disqualified persons absent from Dominica for more than 5 years and required their names to be removed from the register of voters. We know about the incompetence in managing the register of voters accordingly. That led to a bloated voters list with thousands of persons ordinarily resident overseas and who were not eligible to vote in Dominica. In this new act, the ruling party has moved to protect the franchise of overseas voters by removing the 5-year disqualification and thereby providing for registered voters to remain on the voters list for life, regardless of whether or not they are ordinarily resident in Dominica. But there are provisions in the new act under the broad sweep of Section 52, effective confirmation, which provide for the removal from the register of voters the names of persons who do not have the constitutionally mandated residence in Dominica qualification for registration. Under the Registration of Electors Act, there are provisions for ID cards for voting. The only thing we did not get in the bill is fingerprints on the ID card, the biometric fingerprints. Everything else we wanted is there. We had advocated long and hard for there to be no confirmation or re-registration of persons on the voters list outside of Dominica. There is no confirmation of registration outside of Dominica. It all has to be done in Dominica. In terms of the House of Assembly Elections Bill, the letter from the Electoral political leader of January 13, 2025 listed 4 concerns. Number 1, election campaign finance regulations. Number 2, election offenses, bribery and cheating, the payment of air and sea transportation for voters living overseas, and the payment of free entertainment for voters. Number 3, abuse of incumbency, the use of state resources such as public funds or government-operated facilities to support a particular candidate or party. Number 4, access to media, provisions to cover all media with penalties for failure to comply with the rules. None of these concerns were dealt with during the passage of the House of Assembly Elections Bill on March 19, 2025. Senator Paris did not vote for this bill. Repeat, Senator Paris did not vote for this bill. According to Zed Lloyd, Edison James and myself have been the primary defenders of Delbert Paris's posture, and that is all right, but it is how it was done. Delbert's actions, he says, demonstrated parliamentary immaturity. In other words, what we are being told is it is parliamentary immaturity to vote for legislation which, though not perfect, includes a majority of the provisions for which you and your political party have relentlessly advocated. I am told I could have defended Senator Paris on the content of the bill he voted for, which is exactly what I did. But that was not good enough because Senator Paris, according to Zed Lloyd, did not realize that he can find good things in a bill and not necessarily vote for the bill, and he was voting for a packaged bill structure. A package bill structure? Now, what on God's green earth is that? And on the basis of this arrant nonsense, Mr. Lloyd concludes that we had a deputy leader in the parliament who is not fully versed in issues of parliamentary execution. So he says, I am willing to retract the idea of you as an engineer in some of this situation, but listen carefully, what does it say when you, Edison, and Delbert were privy to the bill that was not made available to others, and you guys were on the radio supporting the need for reform and did not tell the people that there was enough in the bill to even vote for it? Really? What bill are you talking about that Edison, James, Lennox Linton, and Delbert Paris were privy to that no one else knew about? The bills that You're talking about were the very same ones that were presented to the parliament in December of 2024. I thought everybody saw those. There were no other bills presented before the sitting of parliament on the 19th. So what exactly would you be talking about? And on the basis of all that, he demands my resignation. He says they thought there would have been another resignation at the same time, along with the one from Delbert Paris. He wants me cancelled. For what? Now, he has not demanded the resignation of his partner or partners in the ERC-led protest that say the United Workers' Party supports the House of Assembly Elections Act, in which there is no campaign finance regulation, no provision for access to all media, no provision to prevent ruling party abuse of state resources for election campaigns, no provision against bribery of overseas voters with money to travel. He did not do that. But he's calling for my resignation. The gentleman who was the head of the organization of the protest in Dominica, he sat in New York and claimed credit for organizing it all and putting it together. And in all of these things that he does, he gives the impression that he's really working on behalf of Dr. Thompson Fontaine, the political leader of the United Workers' Party. And so I have put that question to Dr. Fontaine, this question of him operating through proxies like Zed Lloyd, allowing them to be in this position where they are constantly sowing seeds of disunity within the United Workers' Party, constantly giving the impression that all is not well, constantly giving the impression that we are beset with leadership issues, etc. I put that question to Dr. Thompson Fontaine, the leader of our political party. And here's what he told me. This is the political leader of the United Workers' Party to the president of the United Workers' Party. Quote, I have told Zed repeatedly that these kinds of outbursts do not serve me or the party well. I have absolutely nothing to do with this, and by no means does that represent my views. Again, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. I have told Zed repeatedly that these kinds of outbursts do not serve me or the party well. I have absolutely nothing to do with this, and by no means does that represent my views. So who are you representing, Zed Lloyd? From wherever you are in the United States. Who are you dictating to? What is your agenda? The narrative that you're trying to control is for what purpose? The narrative you're trying to control is for what purpose? The narrative that Zed Lloyd is trying to control is for what purpose? Because Zed Lloyd and others, like Viva Mamo, for example, seem to rejoice in creating these perceptions of problems in the United Workers' Party, problems with the leadership. This one don't like that one. They're doing this here, they're doing that over there. We had a constituency association meeting in Marigot, which was questioned, on leadership grounds. They asked, where is the lead? It's a constituency association meeting, Marigot Constituency Association meeting, to talk about the legislation. And that in itself was a source of confusion or a platform on which Viva Mamo and others felt it was necessary to create confusion. What is that about? And Dr. Fontaine was clear to me at least, that these individuals are not working for him, they're not speaking for him. So what's up with that? 2 days ago, well, not 2 days ago, on Monday of this week, we had an election in Trinidad. It was won by the opposition United National Congress. And you had Anil Roberts from the UNC on the day following that, on Tuesday. And Anil was talking about unity among the opposition forces and so on, and unity, unity, unity. And it's not different from what Anil said when he was actually here talking on the platform of the Electoral Reform Coalition last year. But Matt, I want the people of Dominica to listen to me carefully, because I don't just look at things on the surface. Where they concern me or they concern the country, I take a deeper look at them. And I'm going to say this afternoon, there is a major difference between what happened in Trinidad and what people perceive to be happening here in Dominica in terms of unity in the opposition. What we have in the opposition is not so much a movement towards unity, At the moment, it is stalled on a crucifixion campaign for the United Workers' Party, a campaign to crucify, set aside, probably even dismantle the United Workers' Party. This party,
expound on that for me.
This party is under constant pressure. Everywhere you turn, every day you wake up, it's some new story. Created, as Zed Lloyd is indicating there, from perceptions that are misunderstood, that people will get a certain impression about. But it is those who are stirring up the strife, because of whatever reason they're stirring it up, that are responsible for that situation, which the party has to deal with. So we did not have a situation in Trinidad of crucifixion, forces within the resistance movement to the PNM in Trinidad involved in crucifixion of the UNC or Kamala Persad Besessa. They were supportive of the movement for change, in which the UNC was the lead player. That is how the UNC ended up with 24, 26 out of the 41 seats.
27, 26?
Well, overall it's 28. Mm-hmm. But you had two going to the Tobago People's Party, where the UNC does not contest elections, but the PNM does. So the PNM was defeated in Tobago by the Tobago People's Party. Those two seats, completing the 41 in Trinidad and Tobago. And overall, 28 going to the opposition to the PNM that was in government, including 26. And of those 26, 2 in the oil field belt to the oil field workers union, one of those groups. So you have entities, parties, civil society organizations collaborating effectively in Trinidad, uniting around a common cause. We can do the same thing in Dominica. We have to do the same thing in Dominica. But at the moment, we're stalled. We're stalled because of agendas that are cutting left, right, and center and leaving the party injured in the middle. Injured because of this constant negative characterizations of the leadership of the party. This thing about infighting, this thing about Thompson Fontaine and Lennox Linton, and if Lennox Linton don't want Thompson Fontaine for leader, all of that, just on and on and on and on and on. Some people don't want Lennox Linton to talk, because when he talks, he says certain things. But Lennox Linton has the same democratic right, the same constitutional right to freedom of expression that everybody else has. There are people in the party who can get up and say what they want when they want. They say nobody asks them any question, and it has always been like that. All of a sudden, these days, it becomes different, and the focus is on Lennox Linton. Maybe he's talking too much, or he shouldn't be saying this, or he shouldn't be saying that. What does that have to do with anything? I speak on matters that I think are important to Dominica, where I believe there needs to be a better public understanding, or in some cases where it's not even so much public understanding, it's just knowledge of what is going on the grounds that if people know better about their circumstances, they are probably likely to do better. So we've come out of the Easter season. resurrection, all of that, and rebirth, renewal. And I really want us to focus seriously on renewal. And the stalwarts of the party across the country, the supporters of the party across the country, to focus on us, to focus on our party and how we go forward together, skillfully avoiding all the distractions, skillfully avoiding all those things that set us apart in the public space. Give the impression that we are the only political party in any corner of the globe that has issues with how we deal with issues, how we deal with things, what plans and programs we come up with. Political parties are all challenged that way. There are always going to be personal differences. It's not just in political parties, it's in organizations, whether they be religious, whether they be corporate. It is all around us, all over the world. And what I would like for us, honestly, Dominica, is for the United Workers' Party to have a chance to deal with its issues, before they're being handled out there and dealt with in the public space.
So deal with them
And maybe
internally.
Give us a chance to talk. Give us a chance to deal with certain things internally. Look at the situation regarding the resignation of Delbert Paris. The request from the gentleman who resigned was that his letter of resignation be confidential to the members of the National Executive. Within 24 hours, 48 hours, maybe the resignation was out in the open, out in the public space, and everybody's commenting, and everybody's saying this. Some people are saying this, some people are saying that, which is their right to say. That's fine. But I don't believe that there is a party that is more openly scrutinized anywhere in the civilized world than the United Workers' Party of Dominica. And in some ways, that's a good thing, because accountability is a key part of the democratic process. And those of us who put ourselves forward for leadership and leadership responsibility must be prepared to be accountable to the people. But it's just the stage in Dominica where it's enough is enough. It's just too much. It's just too much, and we need a break to be able to deal with our differences.
What do you say, Lennox, to persons who constantly say, well, these fellas in Marigot want the power to remain in their hands? How do you defend this? Because it's been said every day.
Yeah, it's being said every day. That doesn't make it right. It is an incorrect statement. Marigot has never offered itself, or Marigot has never portrayed the United Workers' Party as a Marigot party. But Marigot has been the biggest supporter of the United Workers' Party since its inception in 1988. The Marigot Constituency Association is the most self-sufficient constituency association in the organization in terms of its abilities to take care of the business of the constituency association, especially around election time and all these expenses we have related to that. All right. But the people of Marigot have also suffered significantly for their support of the United Workers' Party through the years of Labour Party government. And you don't have to go any further than Vescott Jones, who was here with you yesterday afternoon, to understand the significance of the brutality, the viciousness of the assault against Marigot people for standing up and supporting the United Workers' Party. I'm from Marigot. I didn't come to United Workers' Party as a Marigot leader. I came as a Dominican who happened to be from Marigot, but to to bring us together all across the country for a change that is most desirable for the people of Dominica at this time. I have said that a good, properly functioning Marigot is good for the Commonwealth of Dominica. But it disturbs me that we are up against, in the party, and those of us who are from Marigot in the party, up against this perception that we want a party for Marigot people and Marigot people only, which is false. And there even emerged a notion of the Marigot mafia that wants to control UWP. And I guess included in that Marigot mafia would be persons like Edison James, Norris Prevost, myself, and others. And nothing could be further from the truth. If you look at the record of the United Workers' Party in the last 36 years, you had, this year will be 37, you had Edison James as a political leader, you had Earl Williams as political leader, you had Ron Green as political leader, you had Lennox Linton as political leader, you have Dr. Thompson Fontaine now as political leader. In the five leaders there, you have 3 who are not from Marigot. Edison James and myself are the 2 persons who served in the political leadership of the party from Marigot. But we're up against this notion that we want a party for Marigot people, which makes absolutely no sense. And we have so frustrated the people of Marigot. And the people of Marigot have been so cornered politically, so discriminated against politically in so many different ways. There's this excellent representation of the plight of Marigot people in the last 25 years, or the last 20 years, by Senator Delbert Paris. He wasn't senator then, back in 2019, in a social media post, asking where were you when Marigot was going through this and going through that, when all of the systems were just falling apart around us, and we had to be fending for ourselves. And that frustration of years leads to reactions. Some people in Marigot react, and you hear, for example, some people say, well, Marigot probably should forget about the rest of Dominica. Let's be the Republic of Marigot and so on. That is a statement that comes out of frustration of discrimination, oppression of the people of Marigot because of their choice of political party through the years. That's a development of that comes in recent years, born out of the pressure that people have been under this administration.
Somebody says, Mr. Linton, that the negative comments usually come from the people of Marigot in terms of divisiveness.
The what?
People who speak about dividing the party are coming from the people.
A lot of people from Marigot, and I've seen this on social media, and you can go back and track it. A lot of people from Marigot who comment on social media, a number of them are commenting in defense of Marigot, in defense of what is said about Marigot. They're not initiating things more than others are initiating them elsewhere. Marigot people find themselves in a defensive position where, take me for example, I find myself in a very interesting defensive position where Marigot is concerned, because people are telling me about this Marigot thing, and people are including me in the Marigot mafia, and it's happening right from within the party of which I'm president. But I'm saying clearly today, there is no such thing as any move to have a United Workers' Party for Marigot and Marigot only, or to have a United Workers' Party that is led by Marigot and Marigot
That's
only.
far
People,
from the truth.
that's absolutely false. It is not true. It is simply not true.
We saw comments going viral, Mr. Linton, last evening, and that came directly from your brother, Mr. Brian Linton. And that is one of the comments people think that's just everybody's talking about.
But I've seen them. Let me be clear.
Yes.
Brian Linton is my brother.
Yes.
By mother and father.
Right.
My brother in blood. Okay. He's the last child of my mother and father. Right. But Brian Linton was involved in the United Workers' Party at executive level, general secretary and so on, long before I became political leader of the United Workers' Party in 2013.
That's true.
Brian Linton has invested over 30 years of his time, his energy, his resources in supporting the United Workers' Party. And Brian Linton has a right to be frustrated about things he hears that seem to be threatening the future of the party. Do I support everything that Brian says? Do I support that particular statement I saw last night? No, I don't. But I am not going to take away from him the right to say it, to say what he feels, or criticize what he feels he needs to criticize, any more than I'm taking away anybody else's right to say what they want, to criticize what they please. When you criticize me, I may feel there is some responsibility I have to you to explain what's going on or to respond in a certain way. And I'm here this afternoon. People can call me and they can ask me whatever question they want. It's okay. I don't find the questions inconvenient or bad or whatever. To the best of my ability, I'll try to answer them. That's who I am. That's how I am, right?
Thank you for that.
But clearly, Brian and others are dealing with a certain frustration. Did you hear any frustration in Vessie's voice yesterday afternoon?
Oh, yes.
This is going on 11 years. A man has been looking for justice in circumstances where it is clear to everybody, including those who dismissed him, that he was wrongfully dismissed. And Matt, all around the world, the remedy for wrongful dismissal is reinstatement with no loss of pay. Standard. And so it's not Vessie's fault that he has been out of his job for 10 years. They have caused it to be that way. And as he explained to you yesterday, it's political victimization because what he did for Lennox Linton. If he had done it for somebody else, there'd be no problem because so many other people have had things done for them, have been able to get away with criminal acts going through the security system at the Douglas Charles Airport. He spoke to you of a judge who had crackbacks in other wildlife. And they were asked to use your discretion. The judge, it seemed, was above the law. But they wanted to use the opportunity to embarrass Lennox Linton. Vescott Jones should have called the police for Lennox Linton to be arrested for 8 cooked crabbacks that he declared at the checkpoint. And because those crabbacks were given to, well, we call his name, my brother Totos, to take back to my home, to my wife, Vescott Jones is out of a job for 10 years, going on 11 years. What is that, Matt? What is that? Who does that? And out of those kinds of situations of oppression, you will find expressions of frustration. You will find people saying things and perhaps doing things that they ordinarily would not have done. The Marigot people are people of restraint, generally speaking. You can see that, but you will get these examples where people say things that ordinarily people say they don't want to hear. Or they should not have said that. Fine. There are many people who say things that they should not have said. They do things that they should not have done. But they get away with it. And that's okay because democracy has those privileges. It allows for those things to happen, and that's fine. But Matt, aren't you? Don't you? Let's come to you now. Do you feel a special sense of interest? I don't know. Sometimes I feel you enjoy it when you have to ask these questions. Is the United Workers' Party ready for the next election? Should a snap election be called right now? Is the United Workers' Party ready? And what about these leadership issues in the United Workers' Party? What do you feel when you're leading those kind of discussions on the radio?
What do I feel?
What do you feel? Well, and then you get the feedback, and everybody's calling, and they're not ready. This, that. What's going on? What do you feel?
There's nothing to feel per se. You're just checking the vibes that's going on around the country, and you wonder. There's something in my mind saying, what is really going on in the United States? We see we sense so much negativity.
Okay.
And you get a sense of, well, are these guys really ready for an election? So you ask the question all the time.
Okay. Well, okay. Okay. So right now, getting ready for elections. What would that mean? What would getting ready for elections mean?
Meaning you show a united front, you show a united face out there. Because I'm already getting comments saying, well, we don't see a posture out there that the president and the prime or the leader of the United Workers' Party showing it like they're united out there. They don't go, they don't share that public space together. They don't lime together. Showing a semblance of unity.
Okay. On the liming part of it, things I used to do, I do them no more.
Right.
I'm getting up there in age, Matt, so I don't lime as much as I used to lime in the past, if I did much of that at all. Dr. Fontaine.
Yes.
I was the first person.
Okay.
And Dr. Fontaine will tell you that. I was the first person to talk with Dr. Fontaine about leadership succession when I was political leader of United Workers' Party.
You spoke to him about that?
Well, we spoke. We had long discussions. We had plans, right? Dr. Fontaine and myself. But I am not. I don't sing in the "How Great Thou Art" choir of anybody.
Okay.
I'm an ally of Dr. Fontaine. I don't know the extent to which he values that, but that's not for me. I'm the position of president of the United. Wait a second.
Yes.
The position of president of the United Workers' Party makes me an ally of the political leader. My skills, my talents, my capabilities, such that I have any, are at the disposal of the political leader. Bearing in mind, I'm a volunteer. I serve my God, I serve my country, and in service to God and country, I am in this political organization where I used to be political leader. I resigned. I am not interested in the post of political leader because of my lived experience in Dominica, what I went through as a political leader. I believe that time came.
I'm happy, to hear you say that, because there's still a lot of people suggesting, why he gave up the post, or why you want the post back.
I don't want the post back. If I wanted the post back, I would have contested at the delegates conference. I'm not seeking to have anybody installed in the position to do my bidding or to be under my control or my influence. I'm not that kind of person. And
you're not pulling any strings there. No.
I'm not pulling any strings, and it also offends me when people like Zed Lloyd and Viva Mamo are suggesting that I am the architect behind Delbert Paris going into Parliament and voting yes on the bill, as though Delbert Paris doesn't have his own mind. Delbert Paris is an accomplished engineer. He's an educated person. Mm-hmm. He's articulate. He knows what he's talking about. To have this out there in public as though he's some buffoon, doesn't know whether he's coming or going, and he's immature, etc., etc. I find that offensive. And I wish that people would stay away from doing those things. We cannot be spending our time denigrating, dehumanizing, demonizing each other especially when we are supposed to be part of the same group of persons of like mind seeking to bring change to a country for the benefit of all. We need to stop doing that. And so this afternoon, again, based on what Dr. Fontaine told me, let me continue with what I was saying a while ago, and I wanted to complete the thought.
Yeah.
My skills, my talent, my capabilities, to whatever extent I have any of those, are at the disposal of the political leader. It is up to him to decide how he wants to use them, if he wants to use them, and if he feels that the skill sets that I have are less useful to him than the skill sets of somebody else outside of the party in my area of competence. That's up to him as well. I don't force myself on people. I've never done, I never will. But that's all up to all. So how Dr. Fontaine and myself appear to the public, right, has to do with a number of things. It has to do with Dr. Fontaine's interests. It has to do with what Dr. Fontaine is involved in, what he prioritizes. It has to do with my own life, my style at the moment. Because Dr. Fontaine and myself were together 2 days ago at the 175th Jubilee celebrations of the Catholic Church. Interestingly, 5 of us from the executive of the United Workers' Party were there. 3 members of the executive of the Dominica Freedom Party were there. 5, or was it 4? 4 of the 6 members on the opposition side of the parliament were there. And from the government side, on the grand occasion of the 175th anniversary of the Diocese of Roseau, you had only 2 members of parliament from the government side there. 2. One, Dr. Irvin McIntyre representing the Prime Minister, and
the Health Minister? And
the Health Minister. That was all. Everybody else stayed away, whatever their reasons were. Right? But we were there, and it was a wonderful event. I thank the Diocese of Roseau for the invitation to the National Executive of the United Workers' Party.
Let me ask you a question, Lennox. You brought it up a little while ago, and I want to ask you a direct question. If an election is called tomorrow, you're not the leader, but I'm sure you're the president and you have some influence. Will the United Workers' Party be ready, and are they ready to face in the election in Dominica?
If it is called tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
If the election is called tomorrow, it means that the election will be in 25 days? 25 days or less? 25, let's say 25 days. The United Workers' Party will be as ready as it can get ready within that 25-day period. Obviously, if it had 6 months, if it was 6 months down the road, it would be more ready. But if the United Workers' Party is going to contest the election that is called tomorrow, and it is for 25 days, then the United Workers' Party will be ready. You see, we have a perception about this thing that probably is misguided. Probably. Political parties, one of the main responsibilities of political parties is to try to get into office, to run the affairs of state in the way that the political parties, the like minds in the political party, feel that things should go for the country. In our circumstances, election campaigns have become extremely expensive. So one of the key parts of getting ready is raising money. So having that in mind, you're always in the mode of seeing where your money is going to come from for the things you need to do, the things you need to do for the campaign. So right now, the party is in the process of doing that. The party is in the process of putting its slate of candidates together, because that's a significant part of the proprietary responsibility as well. And people say, oh, but we're not seeing anything and we're not seeing them on the ground and so on. Well, you know, that doesn't mean nothing is happening. So you have a situation, for example, where given the victimization culture, the political victimization culture in the country, a lot of people that you need to be on the or who want to be on the slate of candidates, who are winning candidates, are not ready to declare their hand. They are working in the private sector, they're working in the public sector, they're obviously accomplished people, but they're not going to drop their job now. They don't have any job to go to, they don't have any means of livelihood. They're not going to drop their job right now to declare candidacy for a political party in opposition until it is absolutely necessary so to do. So you're going to have declaration of candidates closer to the actual election period, when people know that yes, this is the time of the election. You will see a flood.
So you're confident that the United Workers Party?
No, Matt, trust me, we're good.
Will present a good slate of candidates.
No, but hold on.
Yes.
On the question of the slate. And this is where we come into the unity issue right now.
Okay.
The United Workers Party recognizes that there are a number of other interests around within the resistance movement to all that has been happening to us under the Labour Party, from where candidates could emerge. So we're not the only one. We're not the only party that's going to be fielding candidates in the next election. Remember, we are part of a resistance movement. Under the umbrella, for example, we've been under the umbrella of the Electoral Reform Coalition. We have been part of the National Joint Action Movement. So we have been collaborating with political parties in opposition. We have been collaborating with civil society organizations in the same way that the UNC has been collaborating in Trinidad with these things. It's just that the problem is right now, it seems as though almost like it's a crucifixion of the United Workers Party that is going on under this umbrella of so-called unification. And we are the ones looking untidy. We're the ones being blamed for everything under the sun and so on. And that will change. But come to the election now, hopefully you get candidates that come from other sources. We, the United Workers Party, will be part of not just putting up our candidates, but in
a united force
in making decisions about who can win. It is not who is the best candidate for this constituency, that constituency. We'll be involved in that. And the best candidate may not necessarily be our United Workers Party candidate, but that's what we're going to be working with. So when you talk about selection of candidates, it's not just about us; it's about our partners as well in the coalition arrangement. However, let me say this: the United Workers Party will not leave any seat uncontested in the next general election. So whether if there are others who are capable of winning seats, who present a better chance than our candidates of winning, then we will support them. But if there's nobody showing up, if there's nobody else from anywhere else, the United Workers Party will cover all 21 seats, and we have the capacity to do that.
Very, very, very interesting revelation there by the president of the United Workers Party. Well, let's see if we can take a few phone calls, and of course, make your point very clear and be short, okay? Because I know you want to ask many questions this afternoon there to the president of the United Workers Party. He said he's ready, and I'm sure you are as well. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Mr. Pelton, blessings to you, my brother.
Blessings to you.
Dr. Linton, let me say, Honorable Linton. I don't want to sound sarcastic here.
Good afternoon,
Honorable
sir.
Linton, blessings to you, bro.
Good afternoon, bro.
Okay, blessings. Mr. Linton, I wanted to give two questions in mind quickly and a quick comment. Joshua Francis in the equation and some summit for truth and reconciliation No matter how much you talk, I am not convinced that there is not some serious undercurrent within the UWP. I know better. You know I know better, Mr. Linton. Mr. Linton, I'm listening to you. Remember, these two questions, they're having to do the Truth and Reconciliation meeting or what a discussion and the inclusion of...
No, hold on. The Truth and Reconciliation for who? Is a Truth and Reconciliation for the
UWP.
For the United Workers' Party? You need a Truth and Reconciliation meeting or commission or retreat? What is it? What the Truth and Reconciliation what?
Whether it is a retreat, whether it is what it is within the structure of the UWP.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I'm asking. And the coalition, not just Joshua Francis, Freedom, a united front. You may not want to say everything now, but I'll listen to see how you answer it. The next thing, quickly. Mr. Linton, I'm listening to you there. You're an intelligent man enough. But maybe it's an oversight within your subconscious state where you're saying things that are implicating the whole perception of Marigot. My President Salisbury have gone through hell. More than Marigot. Marigot have gotten a fair share in victimization. But the physical and environmental brutality of the Salisbury people, you are there as a former leader of the party and now the president. You're talking about Marigot. You may not be aware of what the perception you're creating.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, please. No, I mean, you are addressing me about ignoring Salisbury when I'm asked a question about Marigot?
Ignoring. I did not say you're ignoring. I said maybe an oversight within your subconscious. You may be. I'm not saying that you are. Listen to me carefully. So I'm just saying all the thing about Mamo and Zed Lloyd, that is healthy, Mr. Linton. It keeps any organization fit to the fire when you're constantly under attack. So the persecution comes from the criminal enterprise, the Dominican Liberal Party. But whether it is to undermine, we not get to go trying to read people's mind and say, oh, your intention is to destroy UWP. I don't know that for a fact. Maybe you know more than I do. But please ignore all these little distractions and focus on the very formidable enemy of the country we are up against, and really and truly try to decentralize the argument, so to speak, not about Marigot, no matter how much people try to make it look like it's a Marigot thing. If it is not decentralize the argument, and intelligent people do a lot of foolish things, Mr. Linton. So make no excuses for educated or intelligent people.
Blessings again. Just answer the two questions because we have a lot of callers going on. Just basically ask the questions, the fundamental questions you want answered from Mr. Linton. Because yes, please.
You there with me?
Yes, please.
I ask the question, is there room for a truth and reconciliation within the structure of the UWP?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of undercurrent and the whole inclusion of all the political parties moving forward, because you're dealing with a criminal enterprise and quite formidable as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, the answer to the question is yes. There's space for that. Actually, the United Workers' Party National Executive is having a retreat tomorrow. A spiritual retreat.
So there's space for everybody there. That's the point I'm getting there. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Good afternoon, Matt. Lennox, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes.
Lennox, I'm just wondering, why did it, when you walk into an air-conditioned room after you've been out in the hot sun, that's how this conversation feels, right? And I'm just wondering, why didn't it take place longer rather than having this tearing down China? But Lennox, I sent you a WhatsApp message some time ago, Lennox, and I asked you a question. Are you planning on being a candidate in the next election?
At the moment, I will not be. Let's say the Marigot constituency will have a new representative.
Well, you're not ruling yourself out in the constituency?
In some other constituency. I'm not ruling myself out from some other constituency. Let's put that. Let's put it that way.
On WhatsApp, I sent you a message.
Hold on. Send the message again, all right?
Send the message again. And more telephone calls. Hello, talk to me. He will not be a candidate. I'm getting here from Marigot, but you don't rule out another constituency. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Linton.
Good afternoon to you, yes.
Mr. Linton, sometimes I think of that for myself. Portsmouth has the Douglases, they call Portsmouth the Douglas dynasty. You don't hear nobody querying that. It went from grandfather, father, brother, son, and who else have control Portsmouth? But can you tell me?
Who is in control of Portsmouth?
No, who are the people that went up for political leadership in Portsmouth, like, or in politics in Portsmouth and emerged winner, except in the Douglases?
No, I don't think there's anybody else, no.
Thank you. Mr. Linton, another question. There was a young lady at the PRO that came on the scene of United Workers' Party, and we haven't heard anything from her. Do you know anything about her? Can she say the reason why she left United Workers' Party? Because we're not hearing anything about her. Because when United Workers' Party had the
delegates,
there was the guy from Wesley who emerged the winner. And the next week he was on the party, ranking and raving. But this young lady, from the time she never got the opportunity to come on the scene. Can you tell me why, sir? Thank you.
Thank you. 2 questions to you, Mr. Lennox Linton. As it relates to what's the position of the PRO, the new PRO?
Shirley Sabroch was elected Public Relations Officer of the United Workers' Party at the party's convention in December of 2024. She resigned about a month ago.
All right, somebody says to you, and I think she made another comment as to what is going on in Portsmouth. Why have anybody else not won in the Portsmouth constituency? Are you guys planning to contest that?
Which constituency?
Portsmouth.
Yeah, we last couple of elections we contested all constituencies. No different. We'll ensure
no different this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, somebody says, Matt, I know Lennox has sacrificed a lot and has been burned many times, but where do we go from here, Lennox? That's a question there.
Where do we go from here? First things first, we prepare for the next election. We get ready. We join hearts and minds across Dominica to get ready for the next election. And part of that involves getting familiar with the new laws, especially as it concerns registration of electors that will be in place for the next election. Now, let me just say, people have been told that the new law requires a period of confirmation of voters on the register. So one of the first things that the patriots of Dominica have to think about, the voters of Dominica have to think about, is ensuring that your name is on the register, and you do that during the confirmation period. Now, the confirmation period has not yet been declared. The legislation took effect, the Registration of Electors Act took effect on the 25th of March, and there is a 60-day period that the commission has to declare the period of confirmation of registration. So that 60-day period ends 25th of May. So sometime before the 25th of May, you can expect an announcement from the Electoral Commission by order published in the Gazette of the 12-month confirmation period. The law provides for the confirmation to be extended by a further 3 months if necessary. Initially, it's 12 months. So during that 12-month confirmation period, all voters in Dominica will be required to confirm their names on the register of voters. That's how you get re-entered. If you don't do that within the confirmation period, the period closes, your name will be taken off the register of voters. So responsibility number one in terms of us going forward, listen out for the confirmation date as declared and get your name on the register so that you are empowered, you are prepared to vote in the next election.
Mr. Lennox Linton, question to you there. I think it just slipped me. I asked the question to the Prime Minister just last week as it relates to, I'll ask that to you. Do you think it's possible that the Prime Minister may call a snap election before all of these measures are implemented?
He can do that, and if he does that, it would be most unfortunate, because the Prime Minister is claiming a constitutional right to call elections at any time. I don't know if you want to call it a right, because the term of office under the Constitution is supposed to be 5 years. There is a privilege or facility granted to the Prime Minister to be able to call election within that period, and Mr. Skerritt takes that over to be a right, even though he will want, and so he wants to exercise it even in times when the Electoral Commission, that the Constitution gives responsibility for free and fair elections exclusively, is not ready for the election that he plans to call. And I find that kind of attitude to be irresponsible, reckless, because I recall some time ago in Antigua, Baldwin Spencer was the Prime Minister, and he was being asked about the election date as the end of the 5-year term came. And Baldwin Spencer's response was a classic, He said, I will call the election when the Electoral Commission is ready to have the election. Good. Now, for the next election, the Electoral Commission needs to get ready. It has, for example, to employ, to engage enrollment and assistant enrollment officers, probably in excess of 100 enrollment and assistant enrollment officers. It has to put in place a confirmation and registration data management system that will take care of all the ID cards and so on, and all the requirements. That is not just going to cost money to the tune of probably $5-6 million. It's also going to require training of the enrollment officers on the new system for confirmation and registration. How soon can they get ready for that? The Electoral Commission certainly would not want to announce a confirmation period that starts, let's say, on the 1st of June, and by the 1st of June, there is nothing in place for them to do the work that needs to be done. So that has to be taken care of. And once that happens, we're good to go under the new rules. But as you said, Mr. Skerritt has demonstrated that he is capable of calling an election within the confirmation period.
It says the Constitution gives him the right.
Yeah, which would effectively mean that there will be no cleaning of the list.
So you will run the election?
You'll run the election essentially on the same old list. Because don't forget, the confirmation requires that people come and confirm their registration. Now, if the confirmation period is 12 months, you cannot dictate to me whether I come in month 1 or month 12 to confirm, right? So names of persons who don't confirm can only be removed after the 12-month period is over. Anytime within the 12 months now, even though lists are being published every month, updated lists are being published every month, what you would see essentially on those updates is persons who have died and are no longer required to be on the register, and those people who are newly registered, because confirmation and registration are two different things. While people who are existing registered voters must reconfirm, people who have never been registered must get registered. So you have two processes going on at the same time. So those who are newly registered will show as being on the register. Those who are dead will come off the register. But those who have not confirmed will stay on the register. Whether they intend to confirm or not, their names will stay on the register until the completion of the confirmation period. So all of the thousands of people that we have living overseas, some of whom have no intention of coming back to Dominica, their names will still be there. And it's only after the 12-month period is over that those names can be taken from the register.
Very interesting. Dominica, 449-3095. More telephone calls. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Linton.
Good afternoon, sir.
But I heard a caller this morning make a very important point where he said that the captain does not always be the best player on his team, and that makes a lot of sense. But when you have best player and you have a captain, and the captain is not the best player, the captain should know how to use his best player. And then the captain supposed to know that they don't have to take advice from people who are against his team, because the advice they're going to give him is advice for him to lose. So anytime you as a captain and you will be taking advice of people who's cheering against your team, you have a serious problem, and you will have a problem. So that point this morning, it touched me that the best player is not the captain, but the captain has to know how to use the best player he has among him. Man, have a good afternoon.
Have a good afternoon. There was a comment or more of a question. Hello, talk to him on the telephone.
Well,
Yes?
a comment.
Hello, yes?
Yeah, just quickly, Matt, second bite of the cherry, and I will abbreviate. Mr. Linton, my beloved brother, I noticed, I don't know, maybe you figure out you may have touched on it earlier on, having to do with there is a collision and coalition. The coalition is the correct word for that, I think. Talking about the coalition, the different political parties coming together in moving forward. And do you think Delbert Paris, or even you, Mr. Linton, I heard you spoke very early pertaining to in defense or making an excuse for Mr. Paris, and none of what you made an apology to say we are sorry for all the people that get the tear gas, the rubber bullets, and stones as well, and Ballet with the hit with a gun in his face and all of that. Don't you think it merit? And the merit is not for praise, having to do with some condemnation, some admonition, or something like that, punishment or whatever. And I'm not asking for that. I'm just talking about an apology to the people who were brutalized. And we love to figure out, oh, but that pass already was under the bridge, but the water is always under the bridge, you know. So I'm just saying, for a human side of the argument, don't you think Mr. Paris or even you could have apologized because of your justifying he participating in the way in which he did in the parliament? Thank you, sir.
Hold on. No, don't go. I'm justifying what?
Basically, that the fact that Mr. Paris voted that way in Parliament.
Yeah, but I keep saying that Mr. Paris voted for the registration of electors bill, not for the House of Assembly elections bill, which is the one that covers campaign finance regulation.
So why
which is the one that covers access to media, which is the one that covers treating election offenses, bribery, treating, and the payment of transportation for voters overseas, which is the one that covers the abuse of incumbency, the use of state resources to finance the political campaign of ruling parties. Those were not dealt with. The concerns we have, which were raised in the letter from the political leader to the Prime Minister seeking a meeting to discuss those matters and to see if they could be resolved with the passage of the bills that were before Parliament from the middle of December. Those were not dealt with at all. And, repeat, let me pause, Delbert Paris did not vote for the House of Assembly Elections Act. His vote was for the Registration of Electors Act. Now, should there be an apology? I apologize. I, Lennox Linton, apologize to the people for whatever misunderstanding resulted in the feeling that they, on the day of protest, were betrayed in the Parliament. I want to apologize for whatever I may have contributed to that. I don't know what I did, but I'm saying that because, obviously, people were hurt and people felt that they were let down by what transpired in Parliament. I'm saying, though, Matt, and let us all be adult about this, that we need careful examination of what actually happened in Parliament.
Before you go on, Lennox,
this notion that all three bills were voted on at the same time and therefore they supported, whoever voted supported all the bills while people were taking tear gas and so on, it's not correct. It is not right to say that.
So why is the government giving that impression? Unanimous.
No. The government can say what it wants, you know. The passage of the registration of electors bill was unanimous. Everybody voted for the registration of electors bill, but I've taken time this afternoon to explain what is in the registration of electors bill. Good. Now, on the question of apology, let us ask ourselves another question, and that is, and Blessings can call to answer it. Does Blessings believe that people were tear gassed and they were the victims of rubber bullets and tear gas because of the yes vote from the opposition benches on the Registration of Electors Act? Does he believe that? Does he believe that because of the yes vote on the Registration of Electors Act, there was no need for protest? When it is clear that they did not vote for the House of Assembly Elections Act, on which was supposed to give us campaign finance regulation, which was supposed to give us access to all media, which was supposed to give us provisions against the bribery of overseas voters to come home to vote, and which was supposed to give us provisions against government abusing resources of the state to vote. Those were highlighted as significant features of the bill that Isaac Baptiste, the former president of the United Workers' Party, referred to in his condemnation and his scathing attack on the character of Delbert Paris.
Well, here's what people are saying. People are saying now, Mr. Lennox Linton, that Paris should have explained that before he went into Parliament. That's what he's going to do.
Well, how would he have known what was going to be before Parliament and what you were going to be voting on? There were changes made, you know. The bill of 2024, for example, was not clear on no confirmation of registration overseas. There needed to be some amendments to that to make it clear that there was going to be absolutely no confirmation of persons on the register in any overseas location. So how did he know? The bills were before the Parliament in December. After December, there was a lot of public discussion. There was a forum, right, organized by the Dominica, a consultation, a meeting organized by the Dominica Business Forum, which the government side attended in heavy numbers at the Dominica Public Service Union building. You were there, right? And there was the formation of a special parliamentary committee to deal with the suggestions that have been made for changes to the bills. Senator Delbert Paris and the other members of the opposition were part of that 18-member committee, which also included 18-member committee of parliamentarians, 12 from the government side, 6 from the opposition, and the cabinet secretary, the speaker of the House, and the clerk of the House, 21 total. They met. They considered, interestingly, let me disclose this. They considered the submission made by the political leader of the United Workers' Party, Dr. Thompson Fontaine, on the 13th of January 2025, which outlined the areas of concern that were outstanding as far as the party was concerned at that point. That is, I'm told, the only submission that the Special Parliamentary Committee considered. And to that Special Parliamentary Committee, Senator Paris made extensive recommendations for the areas outlined in the letter from the political leader of the 13th of January, especially with regards to areas like the campaign finance regulation and the residency qualification for voting and access to media and abuse of incumbency and so on. Those provisions and recommendations that related to the House of Assembly elections bill were totally ignored. And Senator Paris did not vote for that particular bill. I'm not here to speak for him, but I speak on the issue because it has been made about him. It's all about Senator Paris. He's not the only one in the opposition benches who voted for the bill. But of course, he was at the point, the deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party, and so it came down on him like rain. And he has borne the brunt of that. So Senator Paris has resigned from the position of deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party.
He has not resigned from the party, though.
No, he is not. He is not. He clearly has not resigned from the party. And by the way, given the question raised by Blue earlier about the PRO has resigned, and the deputy political leader has now resigned. And what concerns us, what should concern us as a party now at this point, is the fact that the two individuals who have resigned from their positions to which they were elected at the convention in December are both under 40. They're both under 40 and more connected to the largest demographic of voters that we have in this country.
That's a concern.
Oh, okay.
Hello, talk to him on the telephone, yes? Caller, yes, hello.
Yeah, let me make it quick, Matt. Mr. Linton, I do believe in the absence of what the Delbert vote. There's still, the protestation was healthy. But I am saying, my brother, listen to me. You may be too quick to listen to me, or just your mindset and you're not listening to me. He had two bites of the cherry. Prior, he could not have known. You just said it. Before, he could not have known. After, he could have said something. He come with Matt about 15 minutes, and look, he had an address after his resignation. No apology. Is it an oversight? Is it arrogance? I am just saying, my brother, we should not take the supporters of the party like I get tear gas in Salisbury 2 times. I get tear gas by Macmillan on High Street. I get tear gas already several times, my brethren. So I am just saying, my brother, man must be more humble in their moving forward to make the people see that or give the impression that you are a part of us and we are a part of you, rather than figuring out, well, everybody is in fragmentation or isolation. I wanted to say that.
I'll tell you what. I'll try to see if I can get to
Thank you very much.
Delbert, some people think you need to apologize. So maybe I'll call out to you sometime soon. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yeah, Mark. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to all you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Lennox.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Let me say that I am very happy that you're here this afternoon to speak. Whether I have disagreements with certain aspects of it really doesn't matter. I'm just happy that you were able to come out here and speak to the people this afternoon. I hope this is the model that the United Workers' Party is going to take moving forward. I really do hope that. And I am proud of my advocacy. It is not about anybody personally. I don't speak for anybody, Lennox. Nobody whatsoever. I speak for Dominica. And I will continue to speak for Dominica as long as I feel that things aren't going the right way. And all I want is for things to go the right way, because we have a government in Dominica that is really on the backs of the people. And it needs to be removed. And for it to be removed, it needs a constructive and organized oppositional force. And that remains my intent, and will always be my intent, whether you agree with it or not, my brother. Thank you for coming here this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Mr. Linton, I'm very proud of you. I'm still a little concerned, though, because regardless of how you try to explain, some of the people, they either not listening or they cannot understand. But thank you for your time. I love your patience. I love your forthrightness. Keep it up. God bless you.
I thank you, and God bless you.
All right, thank you. My caller from the Hill, I always say, What should we be asking for? Demanding on this program is an apology from the government of the people who brutalized not only the protests but the people in Salisbury, and we should always be demanding the police officers who acted wrongfully to be disciplined in the public's interest.
Yeah, because let's be clear to that caller's observations that the people were not tear gassed and the people were not attacked with rubber bullets and so on because of the vote in the parliament. They were attacked and they were brutalized, they were oppressed because of the kind of government we have, and because the police believe that acting on behalf of the government, they have a duty and a responsibility to harass and to oppress people who dare to come out in protest against government actions. In a democracy, they want to put you on the heavy manners and to let you know you ought not to be out there protesting. You ought not to be asking questions of the government. That is not your business. Whatever the government does, the government does. And they want to ensure that they use the resources of the state in such a way to put you in your place. And that place is a place where you cannot exercise your right to freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of assembly in this democracy. And that is wrong. I've listened to, remember, since the 19th, 25 people, including the political leader of the United Workers' Party, have been arrested, they have been charged, and they are before the court on the offense of unlawful assembly. It is wrong. It is clearly not justifiable in a democratic society based on what transpired on the 19th. But the government is happy to proceed with it because it is part of the weaponization of the police against the citizens of the state who dare to stand up for what is right and what is just in this country. And we cannot allow it to continue. And every time we try to make excuses or we try to shift the blame away from the criminal enterprise that visited these atrocities on people on the 19th, we making mistakes. Let us be clear that the tear gassing, the atrocities on the people, the arrest, the detention, the bringing before the courts, the prosecution of people had nothing at all, absolutely nothing to do with the vote in Parliament on the 19th.
I'm hearing here from Mr. Blackmore. Of course, you know you always listen. He said any member could have passed a motion and asked for a division on any one of the bills. They did not do so. At the committee stage, no one said no on the opposition side. That is what Mr. Blackmore was explaining as it relates to, as you said, Mr.
I'm not getting involved in these technicalities with Mr. Blackmore. I'm saying clearly, which he cannot contradict, the opposition members did not vote on the House of Assembly Elections Act. They voted for the registration of Electors Act, and I will leave it right there. I'm not in Mr. Blackmore's foolishness about what committee stage and what didn't happen, and therefore what you can infer from that. That's absolute garbage.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Yes, ma. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon to you, my brother Sol Poos. How are you?
Not bad at all. Good to hear you. I'm just calling to. Good afternoon, Mr. Linton.
Good afternoon, sir.
So I'm just calling to let you know that I thank you very much for explaining to Dominicans the misinformation that came along to them through main dealers, for example, members within our party like Isaac Baptist, who brought those information here to the public. So I'm saying I'm glad to you for that, and I would like you to make it clear to Dominicans that Delbert Paris has no need, has no right, has done absolutely nothing wrong to apologize to Dominicans for. Dominicans had been misinformed by Malone and Isaac Baptist. And let Isaac Baptist apologize to Dominicans for his misinformation and his hate that he has for Marigot people. So I thank you very much for making it as clear as crystal to Dominicans the atrocities that was done against Delbert Paris for doing the right thing for what United Critics stand up. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. 449-3095. Time is of the essence here this afternoon there. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mark,
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you willing to get my voice?
If I'm what?
Are you willing to take my phone? That's Black Mother, Rayburn.
Talk to me quickly, sir.
Quickly, what I'm saying, I believe Honorable Paris did the honorable thing. I think we had a special committee, parliamentary committee, and we interacted, and I got the sense then that he had read the deal. And we may have some differences on the interpretation on some of the fundamental core issues of the deal. But insofar as it is to actually the meeting of Parliament on the 19th of March, and when the bills were debated, let us get it clear. The registration of electors bill, to me, is one of the most profound bills because it contains therein a number of issues, the cleansing of the list, the voter ID card, a number of things, etc. And insofar as it relates to the House of Assembly elections bill, which is now law, but also spoken on that bill. And anybody could have asked, as I said just now, for a division by way of a passage of a motion and ask for a vote so your name could be recorded as voting no. No one spoke on the third bill because it was a simple bill, and there was of course a common view on the need to have had this new piece of legislation because prior to that, also Assembly Election Act, the Commission relied on the provision within the Constitution for it to have function. It had no autonomy. So everybody agreed that there was a need, and that came straight from the Byron's recommendation. We need to give the Commission greater autonomy. So not only to engage the staff, but it can pass regulations, a number of things, therefore. So nobody at the Capital spoke on that bill on the government side and the opposition side. Even at the committee stage, normally, if you have an issue with a bill, before the bill is passed, the speaker asks, those in favor, those against. And for the record, it's important. You can say, no, that never done, that will never happen. And even member had a fundamental issue about a particular bill. Here becomes the reason why you should be in Parliament.
Let me ask a question. Mr. Blackmore, with due respect, sir, did Roosevelt Skerritt vote for the registration of electors bill?
What's that?
Did Roosevelt Skerritt vote for the registration of electors bill?
Roosevelt Skerritt, is that Mr. Linton?
Yeah, that's Lennox Linton.
Okay, sorry, all right, fine. Yeah, well, as you know, the Prime Minister was on official duty.
Okay. So he did not vote for the registration of electors bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Roosevelt Skerritt vote for the House of Assembly elections bill?
Nobody represents, the government represents Roosevelt Skerritt, the Prime Minister. And that's
did Roosevelt Skerritt vote for the registration for the House of Assembly elections bill? Yes or no?
That's not the point of contention there. I'm not calling
No. I'm asking you a question. Answer the question, yes or no. Did Roosevelt Skerritt vote for the House of Assembly elections bill?
Let us not try to sidetrack from the fundamental issue that has been.
No. But Mr. Blackmore, I am being interviewed on this program, and you coming to dictate what the fundamental issue is? Huh? Really? That's how it works now. You don't wait for you to be the interviewee. You impose on this interview to set the agenda. No, it doesn't work that way, sir.
Let's move on there. 449-3095-9697, 449-3095-9697, and 616-4257. Let's move on here this afternoon there. Of course, it's 2:45. We have 15 more minutes. Lennox Linton is here with us, of course.
But Matt, we need to get serious in this country, Here's a whole minister of government calling to say or try to suggest that people who did not vote on the bill actually voted on the bill because of something in committee or not committee, or whether they contributed to the debate on the bill. If you contributed to the debate on the bill and you left the Parliament after your contribution and before the vote is taken, and you're not there for the vote, you didn't vote for the bill. Roosevelt Skerritt didn't vote for any of these pieces of legislation because he was out of the Parliament.
Was it on his name?
It was standing. The bills, all the bills were standing in his name. You have the phone calls going there, man.
Hello, talk to me, yes. 44930. Hello, talk to me. Hello. Hello, somebody's here but not paying attention. Are you there? Dominica, we don't have too much time, so please be to the point and ask your questions directly, okay? Mr. Lennox Linton is here. He's taking all your questions. Let's take another phone call. Are you here? Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to
I
you.
tried to call, but I didn't get a chance. I go outside.
You're not the only one. Go ahead.
Mr. Linton. Mr. Linton.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Get me?
Good afternoon. Yeah.
It is so much for you. So much for you. And I want to tell you, being a Christian, I want to tell you, Christ suffered so much on that, but he had to go through much before he could accomplish it. Then he wanted to make sure everybody got it. I am saying to you, the amount that you have been going through, and it is good. You know what is good for you? Because if you don't suffer for good, it will make no sense. But if you suffer for evil, that is where they will cease. So you're answering so many questions, and even people that are there, some people think they are educated and they are something, but lack of wisdom. If you have the wisdom of God, you'll be able to articulate and tell somebody something. But if every time the person there, when the person do well, you beat in the person. If the person is saying thank you, when the person do bad, you beat in the person. The person already too many questions they are asking you. You have to answer. There are times you have to just ignore some questions because sometimes people just trying to tie you up to see if you can say one thing and then go back. You are not in court, okay, sir? You are not in court. You are trying your best, and sometimes people are discouraging. But if this is your field of work that God give it to you, no one can take it away from you.
Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, man, I cannot reach you. Everybody's trying to reach me via telephone, but please commend Mr. Linton for me. He's the only politician who answers questions truthfully. Commendation to you, Mr. Linton. We're going to take a break. We'll come. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for that.
All right. We're going to come back, Dominica, after this. We're taking a quick break. Yes, hello.
ESA Trading Limited is celebrating mothers in grand style with a super grand Mother's Day raffle. Yes, do not miss our Mother's Day promotion at ESA Trading Limited. Spend $50 or more and write your mother's name, address, and their telephone number on the back of your receipt and place it in the box provided to take part in our grand Mother's Day raffle. Help your mom win one of these fabulous prizes. First prize, a 90 kg washing machine. Second prize, a 4-burner gas stove. Third prize, an industrial blender. And fourth prize, a 4.5-liter electric air fryer. Promotion runs from today, 17th April to May 11th, 2025. ESA Trading Limited. We're making a difference for you.
Rice and Company Limited. We manufacture high-quality roofing sheets, 24 gauge in different colors, also to customer specifications. That's right, whatever length you want. Aluminum seamless guttering. We also sell PRC mesh, steel rods in all sizes, breach caps, fencing wire and fencing poles. Free estimates for guttering, galvanized sheets, and fencing wire. Quality products at the lowest prices island-wide. Rice and Company Limited, located at Cateville Industrial Site, Shed 1A, just before the Old Mill Cultural Center. Call us today at 617-2468 or 615-0178. Rice and Company Limited, built for living, built for life.
You took a mortgage and it wasn't NCCU's 5% mortgage mega deal? Or mortgage plans to consolidate all your debts into one mortgage rate? Okay, we listen and we don't judge.
So you have a mortgage and need some upgrades in your life, and you haven't applied for our NCCUs beyond the mortgage, 6 loans at 6%, like education, medical, and vacation. We listen and we don't judge.
Your community financial partner wants you to be sound in your pocket and in your mind. Don't make financial decisions that are going to leave you stressed. We told you, NCCU is the plug for all your money moves. We have loans for all purposes. All you have to do is contact us. Pick any of our 11 locations and then just advance.
From the cradle to the grave. Dominicans, insure your property, protect your property, you homeowner and businessman. Protect your property, insure your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
All right, 449-3095. I'm hoping that someday soon, as somebody's suggesting here, we can see the president of the party, the leader of the party, and some top executive members sitting there in one room.
But Matt, what is that about? We have been in the same room over and over again. You have never seen Thompson on them myself in the press
No,
conference.
I'm talking about here.
Oh, here
in Q95.
In Q95. Oh, in Q95. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah,
you'd welcome that.
Extend the invitation.
Okay, my brother. Thank you very much.
Invitation.
250.
If you go back a couple of weeks, you'll see a picture in this very room with Thompson Fontaine over there and me here. That was on our Workers' Voice program 2 Thursday nights ago.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to Mr. Linton. Mr. Linton, thank you for service to country. Matt, you see the reason why when Blackmore come on your radio, we have to attack Blackmore. Mr. Linton is asking Blackmore a question, and Blackmore knows very well that Skerrit was out of state. He was not in Parliament. He cannot answer that question, but he's running all around the road. Matt, one thing I will say, you have courage, eh? Blackmore, I want to ask Blackmore, how much 25th of April 2025 are? Matt, have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend too. It's 2:57. Lennox, what's the latest on the CBI case before us at this time?
Well, I have stopped. I have no more questions for Roosevelt Skerrit or the government of Dominica on this CBI matter. I'm done. That's it. I'm finished. I'm going to focus my attention on trying to see what can come of legal action, whether it is with the case that we have right now before the courts in Dominica, or whether it involves getting together with some international partners and who have an interest in this CBI thing as well, like MSR Media, and filing some legal action in the United States to try to see if we can get at least some of our money back, because it's getting ridiculous now. Mr. Skerrit is clearly not interested in returning any of the money that is unaccounted for to Dominica, and so I'm done. I'm done with that. I don't have any more questions about the billions of dollars that have been I will say misappropriated from Dominica, and for which MMC has a lot to answer for. But Mr. Skerrit is not interested in them answering questions. I mean, can you imagine? The House of Dark Secrets is still not occupied by anybody, you know. And I have said in the past that is a facility, a building in the city of Roseau that was built with Dominican passport money for a member of the administration, of the sitting administration. And I am sick and tired of talking about this. I've done enough, and the next thing is to see what can come out of the court actions. To see if the people of Dominica can receive some of the money that has been taken away from them. That's all I'm interested in right now.
All right, on the telephone, are you there? Yes, sorry about that. We don't have too much time. We've got to go though. Hello, yes. 5 more minutes.
Matt, I want to just congratulate Mr. Linton, although he makes me wanted to reach out and give him a red head when he say he cannot see what he did wrong. When you apologize, you have to do nothing wrong. It's just exercising humility and tell Blackmore in his incoherent nature. Shut the hell up, Blackmore.
Hello, talk to me, blessings. Again, 3 o'clock? No, it's not 3 o'clock. It's 4:02, the hour. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Mr. Linton,
Yeah.
you know, I always have your back, regardless to whatever it is. From the time I met you in 2010, 11, I always have your back. And I will always have your back. And because I saw you a man interested in Dominica, not in what Dominica could give you. You were interested in the country called Dominica. And up to now, you want the best for your country. Not what your country has to give you, but what you can give your country. Thank you, sir, for standing up for Dominica.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you too. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes? We've got to go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Linton, and good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Mr. Linton, I just want to tell you, I love you. I appreciate you. I like the kind of faith you have. The days I spend in Marigot working and going to school, I want to thank you. You are a model. You love people. You love seeing people climb, and that's what I would like of you. Remember, always, just pray, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, and everything else will fall in place. Mr. Linton, I love you. Bye-bye.
Lots of love from to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Linton.
Thank you very much. But you have to play my song for me, you know. I made a request. I made a request. I want to hear Shanice. Experts. Yeah, scrolling for the Facebook page.
Let's take it from the top.
All right, let's go. That. Good afternoon, Shanice. Thank you very much. There's a part of the song I want to emphasize, Matt. Let me go. Let me listen.
Put on my reading glasses and I'm scrolling through my Facebook page. They used to be a book connecting, but now the experts taking them to stage. I've been feeling like I'm reading Shakespeare. Most of them so long, but the grammar not so strong. Everybody wants to be advisor. They must have an opinion, and you can't tell them they're wrong. Oh, some cannot even plan a party. But advising Mama and the NFC, they're experts in send you mad if you're not strong. Like all the experts, they need the right for wrong. Experts in politics, experts in economics, experts in every topic, experts in festivals, experts in carnival, experts in every subject. They always know the solution to every problem. They always know about things that don't concern them. They always know somebody.
Good afternoon to you, Tessa. She says, no one explains situations like Lennox. What a brilliant man. I just love this guy.
Even know well, they always know.
Your pal is coming up, Lennox?
My verse coming up there now. That's the verse coming up there now.
What the topic hot and it's trending, they pick up. Their favorite is politics. They know all we defending, and they know exactly what to do. Don't even mention the Prime Minister. They will write a book on how Mr. is the crook. They don't even live in Dominica. But you can send the rage and the like we need a change. Oh, some cannot even lead a family. But advising how to lead a country. The experts in that you might, you're not strong. Like all the experts.
Make Delbert Paris run. Yes, he run. You see the prophecy of Shanice. The experts make Delbert Paris run. No, he run. They want his blood.
All right, let's take one final call for the afternoon. Hello, yes. Final call. Final call.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Yes.
Matt, is a long while I don't call the radio because I want to stop calling the radio because Matt sometimes I just be vexed.
The pressure up.
Like the pressure bursts in my pipe. Mr. Linton, good afternoon.
Good afternoon there. How are you doing?
That is your extended family from One Prosper.
Thank you very much for calling. Nice to hear you.
Mr. Lennox, just remember Dominica loves you.
I love you too.
Your back is upside down. She knows what I cannot hold on your back.
Yeah.
So thank you for explanation because I was a bit confused.
Right.
But when I hear your explanation this afternoon, I hope every Dominican is listening to the explanation.
Thank you then. Thank you very much.
And the Creator is blessing you all the time.
Thank you.
Be strong and keep PWP strong.
Thank you. Well, Lennox, we've got to wrap it up.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks very much. People of Dominica, take good care. We have a lot of work in front of us. So now is the time to join the hands and join the hearts and to recommit and to renew and to get our work done. This is for all of us. A better Dominica for all the sons and daughters of this blessed land. Thank you. God bless you.
Somebody wants us to add a final voice. I know she will get frustrated. Are you there? Yes? Yes, talk to me quickly.
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to Mr. Linton.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
But I just want to say to Mr. Linton, thank you for service to country. And Mr. Linton, I love you too. Bye-bye.
I love you. I love you too.
I'm so sorry. All right.
All the best.
Thanks. We'll talk again sometime.
God bless, Matt. Thanks.
Experts in calypso, experts in any subject. Solution to every problem. They always know about things that don't concern them. They always know somebody give them the wrong name. We should call them Noah or Novisha or even Noel. Cause they always know. They always know. Shouldn't okay.
Oh boy, let's do some calypsos as we go in the afternoon. My friend Franklin Peter Moses, that's your favorite song. I've got to go until tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the conversation with Mr. Lennox Linton. Somebody suggesting that we need Mr. Linton and Mr. Blackmore live on the program. I'll try to organize that one, okay?
Time for reflection, a time for redemption. Someone's knocking at our door. Ask Granny, listen to this station, her own recollection, sitting right there on her throne. Granny said it wasn't like this before. Papa gone, radio on the bon nouvelle for. News of young men losing their lives, running tears from her eyes, while searching for a solution to save our paradise. Granny has the perfect advice. Well, if this seems like the signs of the end of time, foolish roll your rosary, and it won't just seem so hard to find. Foolish roll your rosary, one day there'll be no more wrong, no wars and crime. Foolish roll your rosary, singing one sweet song of love and pride. Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just say one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Ole Chapelet, roll your rosary. Oh, boy, boy, boy. Take it for our children and our young men, for they need it the most. Because you expect to protect them, will disrespect them. Sometimes rights at their homes. Granny say it wasn't like this before. Papa God, your sons can't handle a boat well no more. So to prove they is man, they must raise their hand. Don't want to know how it feels to bury your mother after she was killed by your father. When this seems like the signs of the end of time, Holy Chapelet, and they both just seem so hard to find. Holy Chapelet, one day there'll be no more wrong, no wars and crimes. Holy Chapelet, we'll be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Holy Chapelet, Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just say one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Ole Chapelet, roll your rosary. Boy, boy, boy. With the economic state of our nation, global inflation, poverty's knocking at our door. Granny used to survive on her pension with no frustration. Now we can't do that no more. Granny said it wasn't like this before. Papa God, a pound of sugar not all no more. But children sending barrels from England, but the customs breaking her hand. Don't want to know how it feels to be a single mother with a lazy, unemployed child father. Well, this seems like the signs of the end of time. Holy Chapelet, and the hope just seems so hard to find. Holy Chapelet, one day there'll be no more wrong, no wars and crime. Holy Chapelet, we'll be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Holy Chapelet, Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just say one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Ole Chapelet, roll your rosary. not about religion or any vocation. We just cannot ignore the whole world by extension. Need this devotion. We must begin at our shores. Granny say it wasn't like this before. Papa God, your people don't have the option no more. So to survive a chance, they must leave their land. Who can afford to run will run to greener pastures, but not the child of the farmer. Well, if this feels like the signs of the end of time, who let shall and the hope just seems so hard to find. Who let shall one day there'll be no more wrong, no wars and crime. Who let shall we'll be singing one sweet song of love and pride. Who let shall Mama say one prayer a day can keep the evil away. Just say one our Father and 10 Hail Marys and pray for my country. Oh, let free. Boy, Chinese.
Breaks again. Watch it. Oh, yeah. Somebody would have to convince me why does politics have to be a system that divides me and other Dominicans just like me? Just because you support a different party, I have always had this vision. Somewhere in this new millennium, we of this generation would break all the social barriers down. One for all and all for one. Boy, a system where we're free to differ. Yet I know for sure I can always talk to you, and you can talk to me. No matter what colors you wear, you can talk to me. Yeah. I have this dream. We are like one political party. I believe we can make this dream into reality. Where country would be priority and no party could successfully so sense of enmity between you and me. Lines of constituency between you and me. We can discuss our options between you and me. There are always solutions between you and me. Yeah, between you and me. Yeah, man. Yes, again. how far our country has come. Always just by the work of some. Imagine how it would be if we could find the cause for unity. Not 100%, maybe 90. And no matter where you come from, this country people who live in town, nothing against the blood would come. Concentrate on our common ground. Educate our differences and move on. Why? And you could be from Carib territory. I have the job you can do. I can always come to you. And you can come to me. I am making no enemy. You can come to me. Cause in my dream, we are but one political party. It remains to us to make this dream into reality. Where everybody can see from prosperity, the government policy of partiality can bring hate and envy. It's when you and me, the one from town or from country. It's when you and me, it's just progress we dig in. It's when you and me, we can buy fish and we build it. It's when you and me, yeah. It's when you and me. These social ills and traditions we follow without question. When we know it when we born, we just scandalize their names around. Just to win a seat in an election. Well, if I am just a figure, believe we can be winners. Then your sacrifice and my hopes and dreams just a waste of time. And if you live between us, we can, boy, cause you never know when or where you fall. The best thing to do is I look out for you, and you look out for me. I may not know you personally, please look out for me. Oh, in my dream, we are like one political party. Oh, we can make this dream a big reality. Yeah, loyalty builds community, not a society that brings negativity and